Hello, and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are not getting the results you are looking for from your digital marketing efforts, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming, the local business guy, and welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, everyone. I hope you guys are having a rockin' week thus far. Today, I want to shock you with some stuff that I was asked to present towards the tail end of last year. I was asked to talk about LinkedIn marketing, some best practices, et cetera. And I did a 45-minute presentation, which I'm not going to bore you with today. I'm not speaking. Full disclosure, I'm not speaking for 45 minutes today, okay? I don't want to bore you guys. I know you guys typically, on average, it takes you about 25 to 30 minutes to get to work. And most of you are listening to me in your car and you're taking mental notes of what I'm talking about. So I want to make sure that this is under 30 minutes. But today I want to talk to you about the best practices of LinkedIn marketing. LinkedIn is really doing a great job, a phenomenal job of changing its platform for a better user experience. And I want to share some best practices for how to do it. Now, this is a great topic to talk about after last week's episode, because if you recall, last week I spoke to my good friend and content marketing aficionado, Miss Barbara Gavignik. I'm sorry, I almost forgot her name. And she has a very interesting take on content marketing. And I'm going to segue into a different form of content marketing because it's something that I believe in content marketing. Content marketing is a huge topic. It's something it's not a one size fit all. Okay. So you got to remember that it's not a one size fit all. There's different ways of doing content marketing. She talked a lot about it last week, her way of doing it, and it's very popular, and not popular, very powerful. So if you missed last week's episode, I would ask you to go over there right now on my page, podcast.lbmsllc.com, excuse me, and and check it out. And check out that episode because she really blessed us with some great content on content marketing from her perspective, which is working very well. But today we're going to talk about LinkedIn. So head on over there, check that out, subscribe to our channel. Make sure you subscribe. Whatever listening platform you're listening to right now, subscribe because, as I said, 2022, I'm going to bring you this season. This is season 3 of this podcast. I'm going to bring you some really cool stuff, so you don't want to miss out. But especially when I start talking about things like content marketing, because content marketing is not the fastest way of bringing results into your world. However, it brings you the best. And we talked a little about this last week, the best potential clients in your world. And I can attest to it. Okay. Usually when someone comes through a piece of content that I produced, I have a 70% chance of having that person as a client, as opposed to when I do some of advertising. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to talk to you about best practices of LinkedIn. So let's get going with that. Actually, you know what? Before I do go going with that, remember 2022 is now upon us, and I really hope that you guys can take advantage of our online presence report for your particular business. We personalize an online presence. So if you head over to our website, click on the button that says, online presence, and you will be able to understand what your online presence is like as of right now for your business. And then we'll give us an opportunity to sit down, chit chat with you, and so we can help you further improve that presence, and for you or with you or whatever, how that case is. So head on over to my website, lbmsllc.com, and just follow those prompts. Alrighty then. So let's go. Enough talk, enough chatter. Let's go with this content. So LinkedIn content creation best practices. Okay. So let's discuss this. I'm going to give you 7 and then give you some blurbs on each 7 of this. Number 1 is you want to consider your target audience. Number 2, you want to engage with your audience. Number 3, you want to be genuine, not salesy. You want to use hashtags. You want to be consistent. You want to be exclusive. And 7, definitely not last but not least, is you want to observe and adjust. So let's go through this a little bit in depth. Well, shall we? Okay. Number 1, you want to consider your target audience. See, before you post anything, you want to think about who the content is for, and you want to tailor your messaging to that particular audience. Okay? This should go without saying. But I've seen so many posts on LinkedIn lately that I'm like, okay, it's not clear to me who they're trying to talk to. See, it's got to be clear. So as example, if your target audience is, say, sales professionals, right? You want to choose, say, industry topics that they care about so that it could hook them in. So when you're writing a post, I always tell people, think about these questions. What problems or obstacles are they trying to solve? Right? That's it. And then all you need to do is then create content that speaks to their needs, period. That's as simple as that with when I say consider your target audience. That's it. You don't have to remember, and rule number 1 of marketing, although you're talking to the whole world, especially on social media, because a lot of people are going to see this, technically, when you're writing the content or you're looking for an image for the content or you're creating a video for the content, you're technically speaking to one person. If you think of it this way, it's a lot easy. It's a lot easier to do number 1 of what I'm talking about. Okay. So number 2, you want to engage with your audience. It's easy to create a post that, and it's easy to create a post and then move on to the next project. It's easy. That's like the normal thing. But using LinkedIn for marketing shouldn't be a one-way street. So think of it that way, guys. So if you're fortunate to have, users commenting on your post, let's say, which a lot of people don't, and I have to admit, a lot of people don't. In the beginning, I wasn't, but now I get comments all the time, But if you're fortunate, if you're one of the fortunate ones that do, you want to interact with them. You want to respond to questions that they may have. You want to respond to, say, comments that they're saying, and then ask for feedback. Hey, what other stuff would you like to see from me? I'm glad you enjoyed it, so-and-so. Is there anything else that other topics that I can help you with? That's great when you do this. This is a LinkedIn best practice that I don't see anyone doing, really. Number 3, you want to be genuine, not salesy. Okay? Yeah, social media marketing is all about promotion, right? Let's be honest, right? but you can actually promote yourself and your brand without taking a hard sell angle, period. You could produce good content with, like, say, an authentic voice. Okay. If you can do that, if you can produce good content with an authentic voice, can't even speak this morning, guys. Sorry about that. It's going to perform a lot better than some hollow sales pitch. Okay. It's going to really perform 10 times better than a hollow sales pitch. You got to remember, guys, people are very smart. Okay. And they can actually spot this honesty from afar. So be authentic, be yourself, be your voice, and you'll be, trust me, you will outperform your competitor, because a lot of people are not doing this. Okay. Number 4, you want to use hashtags just like other social media sites. Here's the funny thing. Hashtags in LinkedIn are not even used that often. Okay. They're not even used that often. They use it. They use it a lot on Instagram. They don't use it too much on Facebook because they're not really effective on Facebook. But I don't see a lot of hashtags being used in LinkedIn. And hashtags, the way LinkedIn the way LinkedIn uses hashtags, which is awesome, I think it's better than the others, is that they categorize the content for you. So you can use them to help you reach your target audience and those that are shared that with shared interests, So the way hashtags are also great, it's also a great way to, say, reach those outside of your network who may be interested in your content based on the hashtags that you use. A lot of people, just so I'm sharing this for the first time, and I've ever shared this, especially, I've shared it with other clients of mine, but never here on this podcast. But a lot of people who reach out to me as a connection request on LinkedIn, well, because they happen to type in a hashtag that we're looking for help about. They found my post because I use hashtags, and that post helped them. So when that post helped them, they say, oh, let me see what else this guy has. And they ask for a connection request. And this happens over and over and over again. So use hashtags, folks. Okay, number 5, you want to be consistent. See, you got to remember something about LinkedIn. This goes without saying with every platform, really. But a successful LinkedIn campaign requires consistency, period. This is probably difficult for you at first, and I can understand because you're not used to it. But it's very important to develop a regular cadence when you're publishing content. This is going to build trust for you and your audience, guys. So you have to have that cadence. You have to have it. That consistency is so key in social media, and LinkedIn is no different. So practice this. Okay. Number 6, you want to offer exclusive content. So it could be like kind of tempting to publish the same content across multiple platforms. It can be. And I know this because it's hard to kind of like, hey, I just posted this on Facebook and I had some great engagement. Let me post it on LinkedIn. But it's actually a mistake to do that. Okay. So you want to provide your LinkedIn audience with exclusive content that they can only find if they're in that platform. Then they can't find it anywhere else. So it's not uncommon that you have the same followers on the several platforms, guys. It's really not uncommon. So if they see, oh, okay, I saw this on Facebook and now I'm seeing it on LinkedIn. So what the best thing for you to do, okay, is when I do content, when I do blogs, I never write a blog on my website and then write that same content on LinkedIn. So as you know, LinkedIn has this blog platform kind of thing, like this article platform, I should say. I'll write content exclusively there. And then I have content on my blog, but that's not the same. They're total different pieces of content. It's detrimental for you if you have the same content distributed throughout social media or on your blog or whatever. Because remember, the same people may be following you. And then they'll say, oh, yeah, I saw this on his blog. Oh, yeah, I saw this on Facebook. Oh, yeah, I saw this on Twitter, whatever. You don't want to do that. So exclusive content is very important. Or let's say you do offer the same content from time to time. That's fine. I mean, because we're all human and, we run out of things to say, things to write. I get it. But here's what you want to do differently is you want to have exclusive content for LinkedIn only. Like, for instance, there are times, full disclosure, that I do have a blog post on my blog and that same article written on the LinkedIn platform. But there's one thing that I never do outside of LinkedIn. The only place I place videos is on LinkedIn. So that's my exclusive content. Okay. So, that's one way you can do it. But there are some times that I never, like there's some written articles that I wrote exclusively for LinkedIn and I don't put it on my blog. So I mix it up. Okay. So anyway, enough about that. Number 7, last but not least, before I move on to the next major topic, is you want to observe and adjust. Here's what I mean. You don't want to get discouraged if your posts don't initially get the level of response you hope for. Okay. And I see this a lot with my clients. I do a lot of consulting sometimes. And because sometimes when people, when they want to work with me, sometimes they want us to do it for them, or they want to do it, but they just want us to teach them. Right. And that's fine. However, the best thing to do is, I'm sorry, I just my train of thought. So, however, when the people want to do it themselves, I find that they get discouraged a lot when they don't see the posts. They don't, and it's hard when you're first getting started. Let the algorithm figure out your cadence. Let the algorithm, and make sure you do the right hashtags, and you'll get found eventually. But don't get discouraged. You want to make adjustments, and you want to continue to improve each post, of course. But don't get discouraged. Okay, so you just want to observe and adjust. Okay, so now let's talk about how to distribute your content on LinkedIn. So I have 11 points that I want to discuss here. And I know, well, you're going to say, Frank, I thought you said you wasn't going to talk 45 minutes. I'm not. Trust me. We're almost done here. So here are the 11 high level. You want to publish quick status updates. You want to share links to interesting articles, websites, or videos. You want to attach a document to your status update. You want to mention people of interest to your connections. You want to talk about all of an event you are attending or have attended. That's really cool. You want to publish and share an article on LinkedIn. We talked a little bit about that already on the last session. You want to define your purpose. You want to brainstorm topics. You want to narrow your focus, and you want to select an image. And last but not least, number 11, you want to publish video content, which we talked about a little bit already. All right, so let's go down the line here. You want to publish quick status updates. So one of LinkedIn's most underutilized features is the LinkedIn status update. So also called as your network update, if you're more familiar with that term. That's in your LinkedIn profile. So this is one of the best ways to stay in front of your target audience on a consistent basis. And And when it's used the right way, guys, you these little messages pack, like a huge backing for you. So your status update block is a white box located just below your picture, okay, on your homepage. So whenever you share an update, your message is then broadcast to your network connections. So just wanna, you wanna check that out, okay? So that's something that's really cool. So okay. Now let's give me some tips of sharing the updates. Before I was just about to move on, but I do want to share some tips, okay? That of sharing your updates on LinkedIn. So you want to share links to interesting articles, websites, or videos. Definitely want to do that. Interesting, okay? I'm not talking about cat videos, okay? Interesting to remember what we talked about before. Your target audience. You're talking to one guy or one gal, whoever that target audience is, and a bunch of them are going to show up. Okay. You want to attach a document to your status update. Your audience might appreciate receiving, say, a checklist, a white paper, a case study, job something of that nature. Very important. All right. You want to mention a person or situation that might be helpful to some of your connections. For instance, you could say, when you do a mention, you have to put an @ before the individual name or the company. So if you want to say, if you want to mention a person or company, that's really cool too. Mention it while you're doing it every now and then. You want to talk about an event you are attending or have attended. This is a very interesting thing because people want to know what kind of activities you engage in, et cetera, and that's important. Okay, you want to be quote unquote a human being. Okay, and human beings attend places, attend events, and a lot of times people say, I get this a lot, and I want to mention this before I move on to the next topic. Sometimes clients of mine say, "Well, Frank, no one really cares." If I'm attending this event. You would be wrong if you would assume that. People do care. Okay. So before I move on to the next topic, let's talk about things that you should avoid. And I mentioned some of it already. Things that you should avoid sharing in terms of updates on LinkedIn. Okay. You shouldn't talk about what you're having for breakfast on LinkedIn. That's not the platform for that. You shouldn't be a spammer. Just don't. It's probably acceptable to post 20 times a day on, say, Twitter, but on LinkedIn, no. Once a day is fine. Okay. Let's say talking about sensitive topics. Don't talk about sensitive topics on this. This is not the platform for that. If you one of the things you want to avoid on LinkedIn is you don't want to continually pitch your products or service. The rule of thumb on any social platform, really, but especially on LinkedIn, is 80% content, 20% pitching. Yes, you got to mention what you do for a living. Yes, but it's got to be a soft pitch. Okay. Another thing you want to avoid is you don't bother posting when no one's looking, So if you post something at 11:30 p.m. on a Friday, you're not going to get any traction. That's what I mean by that. All right. So number 2 is you want to publish and share an article. We talked about this already a little bit. I talked to you about my method already. Sometimes I'll have an exclusive piece just for LinkedIn. A rule of thumb for me is anything more than 1,000 words. If you have more than 1,000 words, it's got to be it's got to be a relevant article. Okay. It's got to be something that's relevant to what your target audience is interested in. Maybe a hot topic, and you've done some research and you know that your audience is talking about whatever that is. You want to write a 1,000-word article on that platform. You also want to share it, and this is a side note, you also want to share it on a video, but maybe bullet points and reference the article on the video. I like to do that. Anyway, so that's usually a good way of doing it. Yeah. Sometimes what I also do is I also share my articles on Facebook that what I have on LinkedIn. That brings people into my LinkedIn profile, but that's something that I do sometimes on the side. So let's talk about some benefits of publishing long form posts. Like I said, at least 1,000 words, no less than that. Okay. It's you're going to attract a targeted audience when you do that, period. You're going to get more exposure. You're going to increase your following by far. Just doing this consistently. And again, this is also consistently you want to do this. You don't want to write an article today and then 6 months later write another one. So you just have to consider your cadence, okay? So if you want to say, I want to write an article a month, then let's do it once a month. If you want to do it once every 2 weeks, do it once every 2 weeks. But don't let a whole month go by without an article. So at least once a month should be your cadence. I would like to see twice a month, or once the best is once a week. So 4 articles per month. But again, it depends on your time, and so that's another topic. So it's going to increase your following. So it's really simple. You want to narrow your focus to what the article is all about. You want to define your purpose for writing this article, before you write it. And it's kind of like writing a blog, but you're going to put it on LinkedIn. That's all. So that shouldn't, that should be real simple. So number 3, you want to publish video content. Again, we talked about this before. Video is powerful. If you're a video marketer, you're going to be able to really connect with your audience. That connection you cannot match from any other thing. It's that powerful. And you don't want to miss out on that. I know a lot of people who are afraid of creating video content because they don't want to put themselves on camera. I say, use it. LinkedIn now even has LinkedIn Live that you can go on, live video, which is working fairly well. So let's do it. Let's get on camera, publish video content. Okay. Just do it. Again, benefits should go out without saying. The targeted audience sees you more often because they're going to, the algorithm is going to promote the video content even further. So, live is better, but if you don't want to do it live, you want to create the content and then upload it, that's fine too, but it's video is my point. Okay. You want to brainstorm some ideas of what you're going to talk about. The same research you're going to do to create the article. Like I said, a good way is create a short version of that article on a video. Okay. So that's a good idea. And then mention the article on the video. Okay. Okay. So let's move on. Number 4. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Yes. So the other thing that you want to do is you want to determine your frequency strategy. So determining your frequency strategy is an important thing on everything. Video, content, it doesn't matter. Okay? You want to make that determination first. So we're early on here in 2022. Okay? We're early on here. So I want you guys, before I end this episode, I want you guys to definitely start thinking about what this is going to be. Create the first 90 days of this practice. How to intermingle everything that I'm talking about today into your normal routine for 2022. I guarantee you, if you're consistent with this, and I normally don't give guarantees, but I can guarantee you this. If you're consistent with every single thing we just discussed, within the next 90 days, you will have so much traction. I can't guarantee you're going to have business, but traction you will have. A following you will have. It's all based upon the research that you do on who your target audience is. Okay, so you want to write articles, you want to do videos, you want to have exclusive content just to LinkedIn. You will see a phenomenal improvement. Oh, and also you want to be engaged, respond to stuff. You'll see a phenomenal improvement in your results when it comes to LinkedIn content marketing. Okay? So with that, folks, I am going to bid farewell to this episode. I hope you guys got a lot of this episode. I know sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelming. So since it does get overwhelming, download this episode, listen to it over and over again. Let it get inside of you, and then let it burst into the best 2020, the best year of 2022 you've ever had, just using content marketing. Again, I wish you guys nothing but the very best. This has been Frank Deming, the local business guy, and I will see you next week. Take care, and bye for now. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. Don't forget, any links that were mentioned during the broadcast will be available to you in the show notes, so be sure to grab them while you have the chance. Incidentally, if you have any topics that you would like for us to discuss on the show, be sure to send an email to the email provided in the show notes, or click the Contact Us link and let us know what topic you would like us to help you with, and we'll be sure to add it to our schedule. If you would like for Frank and his team to look at your digital marketing presence and give you a free evaluation, simply click the Request a Free Consultation link in the show notes to get a hold of them. That being said, until our next episode, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.